Hi, today I'm going to talk about media manipulation and disinformation online. This presentation is based off of Data and Society's report by Alice Marwick and Rebecca Lewis. It is an in-depth analysis of the mass manipulation and strategic spread of disinformation online. All of this information can be found in the provided PDF and D2L on pages 3 through 5 and 36 through 41. I do not expect you to read or engage with all of the content from the PDF unless you decide to. It is over 100 pages long. So I'm going to give you a brief executive summary of what the PDF content is. And if you want to further explore it, be my guest. It's just not required for this course. I really want to specifically focus on media manipulation tactics, and I think by discussing media manipulation tactics, you learn to recognize it and you become more resilient to them. However, the overall report is about the current media ecosystem and how it is easily taken advantage of by malicious parties to spread disinformation. Alt-right internet groups have developed attention hacking techniques to increase visibility and further agenda through social media, bots, and memes. They also target journalists, bloggers, and influencers to spread their content and message. The media's dependence on social media, analytics, sensationalism, and clickbait makes it more vulnerable to misinformation. While trolls, white nationalists, men's rights activists, gamergaters, and the alt-right and conspiracy theorists may all believe drastically different things, they can use similar tactics to spread misinformation and oftentimes converge on similar ideas. The far right exploits young men's dislike of political correctness to spread white supremacist ideology, Islamophobia, and misogyny through irony and deep understanding of internet culture. Media manipulation overall contributes to the decreased trust in mainstream media. It is not my goal to sway you one way or the other politically. However, I do believe that misinformation and disinformation, especially, is inherently political in the US media landscape, and as do the authors of this report. Their first example is from the 2016 US election in October, when over 20,000 emails were leaked from John Podesta, who was Hillary Clinton's campaign manager at the time. And radical alt-right internet groups such as 4chan and 8chan spread disinformation about the email's contents, including funding protesters to disrupt Trump rallies, Pizzagate, and Clinton's secret desire to assassinate people. Mainstream media circulated these false and fantastical claims without prior research or just basic fact-checking, which was really irresponsible and led to a lot of harm towards marginalized communities. Leading up to the 2016 US election, subcultural groups infiltrated media infrastructure through memes, which are rooted in disinformation and conspiracy theories, to promote pro-Trump and far-right ideologies. However, scholars Whitney Phillips, Jessica Beyer, and Gabriella Coleman are skeptical that this is the only reason that Trump won the 2016 election. They believe that this explanation minimizes sociocultural trends and gives too much power to a small group of people, meaning the 4chan and 8chan and other alt-right groups online. Alt-right groups leverage the techniques of participatory culture and social media to take advantage of internet community and target media vulnerabilities, which furthers a harmful agenda. A variety of different movements, moments, and developments have shaped the media landscape. It is impossible to define the impact on the 2016 election or any other events since then, from these alt-right groups. But this report isn't aiming to do that. The report aims to define the loosely connected network, who is involved, where they operate online, and what their ultimate goal is. So, like I said earlier, I'm not going to go over the whole report. in this presentation, I really want to focus on page 36 through 41, which is the section titled, What Techniques Do Media Manipulators Use? The first technique we mentioned already, which is participatory culture. Participatory cultures are not unique to alt-right extremist groups. They are broadly defined as environments that have low barriers to artistic expression and engagement, strong support for creation and sharing of work, and informal mentorship. The alt-right groups have adopted participatory culture by encouraging new members to learn the culture through observation, expressing harmful ideas through art and memes, and engaging in peer review and the collaboration to develop the spread of disinformation. So some examples of this would be when someone new joins, they have to read through the threads and like kind of engage in the culture. They can create low quality memes on MS Paint, which is really accessible. Um, and express their harmful like ideas. And they also, when they are coming up with this information, they're like, oh, is this believable or not? They have like a critique system, which makes it more easily to like manipulate people. Alt-right communities can also use networks as a way to manipulate media. Interconnected networks allow the alt-right to quickly organize disinformation campaigns online and offline, and target and attack people online and offline. This could be doxing, smear campaigns, threats, and actual violence. Alt-right groups can also hijack social media spaces, such as hashtags, to spread disinformation, diminish the ability for others to connect, and overall weaken movements. As I've mentioned previously, another way that the alt-right use further media manipulation is through memes. Memes are a piece of literature, typically a joke, which gains influence through online transmission. I'm sure you have made memes or shared memes or even just seen them online. They're a cultural phenomenon. And it starts at an individual level, but then gradually scales into a shared social phenomenon. An example right now is 6-7, but another example could be that's more harmful is Pepe, the green frog that is like poorly drawn. Um, and he overall more or less represents owning your loserdom. However, because of the harm that alt-right uh, social groups have spread by using Pepe, it is now labeled as a hate symbol by the Anti-Defamation League. Memes can be virtually anything and are not inherently harmful. Obviously, I'm not saying that the memes you share on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook are harmful. I'm just saying that this is just a way that the alt-right has perpetuated harm. And then there's also milder offensive content that are considered gateway memes to the more extreme alt-right ideology. Image macros are a type of meme that quickly convey humor or political thought on social media. They are strategically created and used as propaganda to spread alt-right ideology. Another manipulative strategy is bots. Social bots are software that create content to interact with people on social media. Bots are increasingly used for political reasons to inflate the number of followers, spread propaganda, influence political discourse, and push and broadcast divisive content. Bots are cheap and easy to deploy and are constantly changing. They are quickly leveraged to spread disinformation on current issues. It is becoming increasingly difficult to distinguish real users and bots. We will discuss bots further in section 1.3. Another strategy is the strategic amplification and framing. Utilizing the power of networked collaboration and influencers' reach, media manipulators can quickly spread disinformation to mainstream media outlets. A way they do this is by planting disinformation with small media outlets who are too understaffed to sufficiently fact check information. If the story performs well enough, mid to large media outlets may cover it, either to promote or debunk it. Either way, disinformation gets amplified beyond the original scope. Agenda setting is the theory that media is influential in determining what people think about on a day-to-day basis. Studies show genuinely correcting misinformation post-popularity is difficult, and it is by design. All right, that is all I have for this section. Thank you so much for listening. This is my reference. Obviously, none of this is my personal information, so please check out the PDF if you are interested in reading more. Thank you so much and have a great day.